You are watching a leaked video from inside a secret Chinese prison. Welcome back, Charlie here. China is one of the most secretive countries in the world, but I found some videos people have sneaked out of China. From real videos of China's brainwashing camps, to a secret recording of Chinese officials planning to invade a foreign country. First, we have to look at black jails. Did you know that all over China there are secret prisons called black jails? These are not prisons controlled by the central government of China. Instead, they're controlled by local politicians. Most of the time, protesters or political rivals get locked up in these black jails. In 2009, a reporter was given an address of one of these by a former detainee, and when she went there, this is what happened. You can hear someone inside this black jail screaming for help. She tried to get out and yelled at the woman, "You're here to save me." There were 3 prison guards inside this jail, but they refused to ever open the door again. And we have no idea what happened to the woman who was inside the black jail. She was simply taken there off the record and imprisoned, with her friends and family having no idea what happened to her. Many people who complain about corruption also end up in these black jails. They exist so the police don't have to follow the law, which leads to them treating the prisoners very badly. One woman went to Beijing to protest corruption, but she was soon taken to a black jail. Inside the jail, she was injured using a metal pole and a cattle prod. Prisoners are normally held inside black jails for a few months to a few years. Black jails are an open secret in China. The government actually don't mind people knowing about them. That's because the fear of being locked in one of these jails is enough to stop anyone from protesting, which is exactly what the Chinese government want. Next, we have to look at this leaked video of an invasion plan. In 2022, a leaked video showed Chinese commanders discussing a Taiwan invasion plan. China firmly believes they own Taiwan, and Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, has even said that Taiwan and China will be reunited soon. The 57-minute video shows a top-secret Chinese military meeting. Top commanders can be heard discussing a war status transition. They also say we won't hesitate to start a war and crush Taiwan's independence. And just 4 days ago, a memo from a US general was leaked. In the memo, the US general says he believes China will invade Taiwan by 2025. The USA has said if this happens, they will defend Taiwan, which means a war between the USA and China could break out. Next, we have to look at secret footage of China's prison camps. In 2019, drone footage showed many prisoners in China. Hundreds of detainees were wearing blue with their heads shaved, and it's believed all of these people are Uyghur Muslims. China has recently been cracking down on Muslims. Any religion inside China is banned. That's because they don't want you to worship anything more than the Chinese Communist Party. It's scary to see the rows of inmates being detained. They're not even allowed to see as they're all wearing blindfolds. Dozens of guards also surround the prisoners. The video was reportedly shot in the Xinjiang region of China. This is where China has detained hundreds of thousands of Muslims over the past few years. But what's about to happen to these people? Well, here's where things get really scary. They're about to be taken to what's known as a Chinese re-education camp. Inside these camps, people are brainwashed to get rid of their religions and to love the Chinese government. The camps are run very harshly. There are punishments for anyone stepping out of line. And of course, there are no escapes. It's scary to think just how many people are locked inside these brainwashing camps as we speak right now. Moving on, we have to look at this prison escape. This video comes from Jilin, China. A man has just broken out of prison in the middle of the night. He climbs onto a rooftop and then hops over an electric fence. He then climbs the prison's wall and makes a run for it. But what did this man actually do? Well, here's where things get scary. This man is not Chinese, but instead North Korean. However, he was caught by Chinese police after escaping North Korea to go to China. You see, North Korea and China have a deal. If anyone escapes North Korea to go to China, they will be arrested by Chinese police. The man named Zhu Xinjiang had been sentenced to 11 years in prison, but surprisingly, his release date was coming up. So why did he decide to escape? The reason is horrifying. You see, when his sentence runs out, he will be sent back to North Korea, where he will then face the North Korean punishment for escaping. That punishment is execution. So this man literally had to escape from prison to save his life. But a few days after his escape, he was found. Police found him hiding inside an abandoned house by a lake. He was arrested and taken back to prison. The look on his face as he's being dragged away by police really does say a lot. Next, we have to look at this very scary power play. Politics is a very scary business, but that's especially true in China. In 2022, Chinese President Xi Jinping was about to be named President for Life. But it seems he may have been worried that some people would vote against this position. One of those people being former President Hu Jintao. Before any voting began, someone took a file from Hu. He tries to get it back, but the other man won't let him have it. And a few moments later, he is hauled out of the room. He attempts to say one final thing to Xi Jinping, but Xi Jinping ignores him and Hu Jintao is removed. None of the Chinese media outlets talked about this, and all of the search results for Hu Jintao on Chinese social media were censored. It seems this guy really is getting erased. This really is a transparent display of Xi Jinping showing off his power, and confirming that he definitely is the dictator of China. Next, we have to look at the scary videos of Chinese lockdowns. Most of the world has moved on from COVID-19, but in China they're still locking down everything in the country. If one person gets infected, entire factories are locked down, with all of the employees inside. They complain they have no food or water, and they haven't been able to see their families in days. Here you can see iPhone factory workers escaping from a lockdown factory. People are also still being locked in their apartments for many days, leading to mass shrieking at night.
因为所有的人，你都不晓得这个状态。
These are residents of Shanghai who are very angry and upset. They simply can't take being locked inside their houses all the time, so they have no choice but to scream their frustrations at night. Moving on, I have to show you Chinese death row. In 2011, death row in China was exposed by various photos. China has the highest number of executions out of any country in the world. In 2007, 8,000 people were executed in China in just 1 year. But here are the only known images of China's death row. Prisoners are given a new outfit to wear on the date of their execution. They're also given their last meal. China executes people in various ways. This includes a firing squad or a lethal injection, but they also have something known as an execution van. These vans blend in with normal police vans, but inside, prisoners are executed. They do this using a chemical known as potassium chloride. This will quickly stop anyone's heart from beating. But why does China execute so many people? Well, there are actually 68 crimes for which the punishment is execution. This includes even white-collar crimes like tax evasion and fraud, which explains why China uses these vans of death. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment below which of these videos was the scariest. If you want to see my short videos, then check out my other channel. I've been Charlie, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.